Hello. Hi, and welcome everyone. We're gonna start the webinar in 2-3 minutes. Still waiting for people to join. Hopefully today we're gonna be around 30-40 people. So looking forward to it. As I said, we're gonna start in a couple of minutes. So hello everyone again, and welcome to this webinar on the keys to cloud-based workflows. I'm Per Lindgren. I'll wait another just 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start with the presentation. Once again, welcome everyone. Okay, I think we start. Thanks for joining and very welcome to this first webinar in a series in our what we call digital experience platform that was launched this week. We will start with the 3 webinars, 2 today and 1 on Tuesday. It's a little bit of a trilogy. It's about cloud, it's about virtualization and distributed at-home production workflows, and they really tie together. So I encourage you to listen in to all of them. Also look around the digital experience platform. It's out there. It's what we are launching now instead of being in Vegas and meeting a lot of you there. There's a lot of exciting content out there, and I think that Insight has had a very exciting journey the last 6 months. Total restructuring virtualization Nimbra platform. We divested our low latency OTT streaming platform, Sai, which we've taken all that know-how and experience into the new Nimbra Edge platform for really next generation contribution distribution in the cloud. And of course, this spring we acquired Aperi, really innovator and leader in open virtualized IP gateway. So exciting last months, and I hope you will enjoy some of the content you find there on the digital experience platform. And of course, today's webinar. We're going to talk about cloud-based workflows, the importance, what are the keys, what are the things to think about, kind of bring some of the experience we've had both from, of course, doing really high scalability cloud technology with Sai, but also Nimbra Edge and what to a normal virtualization. So going into first slide, I think current Corona crisis is affecting us all personally and definitely how we work. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you are now sitting home, perhaps even just wearing a t-shirt or even just your underwear listening to this. So it changes everything for us, but in particular, it has affected how we also produce and distribute our content, and definitely exposed the need for more scalability. Actually, people are streaming now more than ever. So Netflix are seeing perhaps nearly 30% more streams than under normal times, and exposing the need for more scalability and higher performance in our existing platforms. We also see a need for more flexibility in the workflow. People are now doing remote, even at home productions. We've seen live shows from home, etc., and now from the big TV news, etc. And definitely it is accelerating some of the big technology trends in the media industry, especially around open IP and cloud technology. We are needing more agile workflows, especially I would say for doing these remote and distributed productions that we are seeing. As I mentioned, we're seeing live shows from home, but also I think we see a harmonization between broadcast and enterprise productions, especially if we're looking for tier 2 type of sports, where we are looking now at doing more distributed productions and cloud productions. And the same type of technology is now also entering the enterprise production space. Also on the distribution side, we are seeing virtual music festivals, as I said, a big jump in a lot of the big streaming platforms out there. So definitely accelerating growth in the new IP and cloud workflows and ecosystems. And a need to also build more open cloud-based or using cloud-based technology to create more open and agile workflows and ecosystems. And looking into that, if you look from Net Insight, what we are doing, and I think we're seeing this in the whole technology, the whole industry today, is that we are restructuring all technology development into more virtualized cloud-based environments. What are the benefits of this? Of course, it allows us to use both the open clouds for autonomy and processing power, but building that cloud platform and virtualization technology means that you can build really an ecosystem of media and transport apps and microservices that could sit in the open cloud, it could sit on your private servers or on dedicated media appliances. And they create like a distributed platform for your needs. And also, of course, from us as a vendor, it helps us to be much more efficient in our development. We can reuse a lot of our development for both our dedicated appliances, that same technology being used in the open cloud or on just private off-the-shelf servers at our customers. Spoke also about elasticity and the need for scalability, and cloud is really good on this, especially experience bringing back from SAI. We used very much the cloud for a lot of our distribution or OTT distribution. We spun up a CDN on demand in the cloud in just minutes. And we were streaming without any dedicated resources or dedicated links. We streamed 500,000 streams directly out of Azure Cloud. Of course, you can use it just for as a primary service, the open cloud, but it can also be used for more offloading your peaks. And again, if you're building on a virtualized environment for all your services and think in more microservice technologies, said you can really tailor-made the workflows for your needs, where some of those apps could be media processing apps or network transport apps sits on your dedicated appliances. Some sit in the cloud and some sit in your private servers, and you can just tailor-made your workflows for the needs you have. Again, cloud, I think, is also, we now, because of the way that we now produce content because of the corona crisis, that we see literally at-home productions, we see literally at-home shows, people sitting at home doing their shows. And big global virtualized like festivals or events happening where you both produce content at home and distribute it over a global infrastructure, require more agile and flexible workflows. And of course, it's very cloud is perfect for that, in the sense that you can spin up resources in minutes, and especially for occasional use or on-demand content once the event is over, whether that's could be like a 10-minute, 50-minute quiz in the OTT distribution, or if it's a two-hour live sports events, you spin up the resources, you do your production, you distribute to hundreds of thousands of people. Once the event is over, you just spin down the resources, you don't pay for it. So again, gives you a very agile and flexible workflow environment. And again, it's not just the cloud, it's really the cloud technologies that enables that. Also, of course, it's cost optimization and monetization tool. So that you can really tie together your contribution, your production in the cloud, and distribution all in one platform. And using microservice technology, you just tie it together, you can spin up, spin down, and create your virtual workflow depending on your needs. Also, of course, in the cloud, with more and more people using the cloud or cloud technologies, it's also easier now to use both, put together a lot of those systems to create that end-to-end workflow, end-to-end ecosystem. And also, I think next big thing, and we start to see that, is the orchestration to be able to handle all those different parts and different vendors and tie it together and be able to also manage it as one workflow. So I think cloud has been here for a while. It's slowly progressed from being more being used for perhaps on-demand storage, when you have big batch works, non-real-time encoding, transcoding, to today really being used in real-time processing and live events. I would say, especially for tier 2 types of news and sports, it's already being used. And as said, it's now being harmonized into how we also do enterprise productions, whether that's town halls or just marketing productions for big companies, or other types of enterprise productions happening out there. And that ties together also, I think, on the distribution side, that things are moving more and more into streaming and OTT. And again, harmonizing the workflows for traditional broadcast and OTT workflows. Going into next and just looking a little bit into what are we doing in Net Insight. As I said, we are definitely virtualizing our whole platform, and with the acquisition of Apiri, we're using a lot of that technology also in our Nimbra platform. And we are now tying together our different platforms. But I think the most specific product or platform when it comes to cloud is our new, really next generation contribution distribution platform that we call Nimbra Edge. We've taken all that know-how experience that we had from this high low latency OTT streaming platform that we developed for 4 or 5 years now, just sold to Amazon Prime Video this spring, and brought it into more business to business like media contribution, production, and distribution environment, which is totally open, and which also allows you both to ingest content from anywhere, do your different types of transformational control, whether it's encoding, transcoding, and distribute it out globally to anywhere in the world as well. And as I said, it's truly open platform. It's all IP. It runs on any IP networks. And of course, we're bringing a lot of the things we've done with internet streaming and internet contribution from our Nimbra VA 400 series into this. But it is open in the sense that we can take any protocol and any appliance. So it doesn't need to be a Nimbra source or a Nimbra destination. We can bring in source from any appliance using the standard, the normal protocols, whether it's the standardized RIST or like a 60 or SRT source. We can even transform it, so we can bring it in on RIST and send it out as a 60 or SRT. And it can be applied on a private cloud, which means in essence on your own computers or servers, or in an open cloud environment in AWS, Azure, or Google, or a combination like in a hybrid platform where perhaps you put a lot of your permanent streams, ingest and outputs in and processing in your private cloud on your own private servers, because actually still in the open cloud for permanent services where you do 24/7 or 12/5 type of processing and ingest distribution, it's still quite costly to do in the public cloud. And here it really fits more in a private server environment. But again, for any type of occasional use, on demand or offloading peaks, having a hybrid system that you can use and spin up on AWS, Azure cloud, or for example, if you want to distribute or ingest content from a new part in the world, whether that's in the US or Asia, Singapore, or South Africa, you can use a cloud instance, open cloud instance, to do that distribution or ingest locally. and bring it back home for doing your processing or distribution. And once you have a more permanent service at those geographically dispersed environments, of course, you can also put a private server there to offload and take down the price. Said again, Nimbra Edge truly probably the most open platform out there, supporting any protocol, any IP network, any cloud, or any appliance end to end. That also, as I said, means that we are bringing in cloud technology, not only that we use it in the cloud or on private servers, they also bring in cloud technology and virtualized technology in the whole Nimbra portfolio. And of course, with Apiri, that's evident step in that direction. But you will see now in the Nimbras, we are using, instead of having one hardware module for any dedicated, like a JPEG 2000 card, an MPEG card, an uncompressed card, or a data card, it's the same. We're using one card, one generic hardware for that can be tailor-made, and you can just, by putting different apps on it, you can make it an MPEG card, or you can make it a JPEG card, or a combination hybrid card for that possibility. And the same goes on the network side. As said, it's really open platform. Traditionally, if you're looking 5-10 years ago, we were known for having our own dedicated reserved capacity networks that we're building between the Nimbras. All the Nimbra platforms are now open IP media gateways. You can really decide that you either use it for send the content over your reserved private networks, over normal open IP networks, and we now also putting into the Nimbra 600 series the traditional ARQ internet technologies that can run over internet or ingest into the cloud and the Nimbra Edge. So really tying together Nimbra 600, 400, and the Nimbra Edge platforms and the Apiri in one platform that you really can set up and tailor-made those apps and the microservices to create, whatever you would like to do. And the good thing, of course, on the receiving side, it could be a Nimbra, it could be any third-party appliance. Going over internet or over IP media gateway over IP networks. Again, looking a little bit forward, where we see things are going, it's a theme. I think we see that we are opening up and we are doing things more in a more flexible way. Our customers, in their production, I think they formerly built like studios that were dedicated. You put all your resources and all your capabilities in one studio. You had one studio with one dedicated master control room. For the events, you put your OB events with all your with the full studio equipment on site, and you did the whole production, and then you distributed from there. That's now opening up. We've seen the first steps with remote production. The OB events, instead of sending the OB events and full crews out to every site, you just bring back your camera feeds and your data feeds, and you can do your production really anywhere from your home studios. That's now, again, taking the next step, that once you've done that remote production concept or technologies, you can also now distribute your master control room, your studios, your graphics, audio, video into a distributed production workflow. And I think what's happened now with the Corona crisis is people are sitting at home and realize, I want to be able to to access that from home and do the productions also from home, and haven't taken that first step with the distributed production environment, you extend that now also over internet and into your homes, and also into cloud platforms for a truly distributed production environments. But with cloud, as said, it's not just that you can use the public cloud. What's perhaps even more interesting from a technology point of view is the way you today architecture your equipment and your platforms is you can develop the same type of apps, or some call it microservices, and put them wherever it makes sense. It can be that you put it on a dedicated media appliance because you want the power and the port numbers or the real-time capabilities that a dedicated appliance provide, or you put it on a off-the-shelf computer or server, on-prem or in the cloud, on your private cloud, or you use the open cloud. Again, it's the technology that allows you to provide that distributed workflow, and you really build on demand and tailor-made your workflows for your needs. But it also means you really pay as you grow and pay as you consume business models. And I think we've seen that with the cloud. We've seen it with more SaaS-like type of services, but now we also see it in the appliances that you build. You have more generic hardware, and you build and pay for what you use and what you need. Definitely, as said, virtualization becoming mainstream, and it's not really about the cloud. It's about a virtualized environment that sits everywhere, whether it's in the public cloud, the private clouds, on your on-prem servers, computers, or on dedicated appliances. I think another thing which is getting into, and it's needed in any type of distributed environment, is you need a distributed intelligence. Traditionally, it's been more, and that's how we did it with SAI. It's more that you monitor globally and you adapt. So you continuously monitor and adapt your environment to get the best performance, and using certain rules. That extends into the next level, which becomes more machine learning, that you use all that intelligence and actually learn what's the best performance I got out, and why did I get out, and it turns into more machine learning and AI, and we're going to see much more of that happening. I would say we are now moving into that space with all our platforms as well. Another big thing I think is on the orchestration side. Again, flexibility, not just in that you can build and spin up things in the cloud and take it down, but also all the APIs and orchestration is also going towards more open standards and REST API type of solutions. So really, our media platforms are getting more open, more IP, and I would say more IT ready to stay ahead. So I think that's a lot of things happening quite fast. And as I said, this is what we're seeing right now is really exposing a lot of the problems we've had in doing these type of distributed productions and distributed environments, distributed platforms. And it is accelerating the new technologies. It has to be open, it has to be IT ready, and it should be based on virtualized environment and cloud-based type of technologies to really build as flexible and scalable platforms as possible. Really let you as customer tailor-made the platform according to your needs and pay for what you need. Really, I think this was just 25-minute presentation. If you want to know more specifically what we are doing, get more about our experience from SAI and Nimber-Edge and cloud workflows, book a meeting with us on the digital experience platform. You can book one-on-one meetings. Also, stay alert. We're gonna put much more content out there specifically for the Nimber-Edge. We will have both demo videos and webinars out there, and also more in-depth webinars on the Nimber-Edge. So go in there, book more meetings. But I also open up for any questions if you think you have in the platform there. You can put your questions in there and I'll answer it. So far, no questions. Yeah, shoot. Otherwise, if there are no questions, let me see if I can open up for more. I'll open up for you more to talk. Otherwise, also there's, as I said, going to be a webinar more on virtualization from the Apperis CTO, Brian Keane. It's really been an innovator when it comes to virtualized platforms and open IP virtualization this afternoon at 4 o'clock. I really encourage you to look at that. It's called The Future Media is True Virtualization. I'm gonna make another webinar on Tuesday, which is gonna be more on at-home productions, looking at flexible workflows for at-home productions and distributed productions. Here we have actually a question from Oscar Turan. Hi, Oscar. Great to see you here. What are the challenges you're facing to deliver real-time live traffic in the cloud and through the cloud? I think there are a couple of different ones in this. First is just ingest come into the cloud, and then how you deliver it through the cloud, and then last, how do you deliver it from the cloud? Of course, if you're talking open cloud platforms like AWS or Azure or similar, you can typically pay for dedicated bandwidth to the cloud, but it's typically quite costly. And therefore, normally the way to get into the cloud is over internet. And of course, internet is typically lossy and you can't really rely on the quality you get. So that's the reason for the new technology that's out there, typically based on ARQ protocols that do retransmissions. And the three big ones, I would say, is RIST, which is being standardized by SMPTE. It's SIGSI, was one of the first on the market, and it's SRT, which is an open source platform. So typically using those to get the quality for the ingest and for the delivery in and out of the cloud is key. Also, things we see when you build distributed platforms in the cloud is, again, quality issues. So you typically also need to protect your workflow, your data and video streams in the cloud. So when we're building the platforms, we also, even between our distributed instances, use reliable transport using typically any of those same protocols. Scalability and the ability to spin up and down resources is also something you need to do. need to be able to handle. It's sometimes you say it's just spinning up and down resources, but you have to have control what you spin up and what you get. We're typically using Kubernetes when we're running instances in the cloud or in private servers to handle that orchestration in a good way. But there are also other ways to do that. Other things I think is really orchestration to handle. As I said, the cloud is great. There's a lot of interesting applications, and people are putting more and more resources into more open marketplaces that you can bring into your own workflows. But it's about tying it together using some type of orchestration that is still a hurdle. And I think I said those are key things. Security, I didn't mention so much, but of course also security end-to-end is another area I think gonna become more and more important. In the media industry, it's both encryption to handle encryption of your stream, to secure it end-to-end, but also things like watermarking, etc. So I think that's an area in all the IP-based workflows, and especially internet and cloud-based workflows, that's gonna be even more on the agenda the coming years. Hope that answered your question, Oscar. Any other questions? Okay, great. Then I thank you all for participating. Take care out there, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you on Tuesday, and have a great weekend. Take care, bye.